Hey, this is Wileen Benson, and you are on the Daily Gratitude Call, where we start every day in gratitude. Gratitude is the highest energy state that we can be in. It creates a frequency of positive vibration that attracts positive experiences into our lives. Hey everybody, this is Wileen Benson. This is our Daily Gratitude Call. Thank you for being on the call today. Several things were mentioned as we were doing our rounds of gratitude in lots of different areas, but I realized that everything kind of fit within three categories: body, mind, spirit, connection. And some of those connections that were mentioned were even like internet connections, communities like this, where there's connection. So that word connection was really powerful. And then also several things mentioned about spiritual learning, how the body, communicates with us and different things like that. So I think this will just open up some really great conversation. Gratitude for body, mind, spirit connection. And we'll see what that brings. So I'm going to set the timer for 90 seconds, and we're going to do a private silent meditation on gratitude for body, mind, spirit connection, and we'll see what comes up. Begin. All right, that seemed like it went really fast for me. I was thinking of my inspired shortcuts. When I ask for those inspired shortcuts every day in my daily GPS, that's a spirit connection, connecting with my Father in heaven, and through the Holy Spirit to receive those inspired shortcuts. And then I've noticed that when I receive an inspired shortcut, especially, months and years ago, before I really had enough evidence to know that I wanted to really take action on those inspired shortcuts, my body would trigger a response to those inspired shortcuts. Sometimes there would be a little bit of fear or a tinge of, like there would be a limiting belief that maybe would come to mind. So that, would bring the mind into it too, but the body would trigger a response, either like in my gut or, whatever, that made me feel like a little bit of fear of taking action on that inspired shortcut. And then the mind kind of goes to work to make sense of everything. And so the spirit, the body, and the mind are all connected when I do my daily GPS every morning, especially asking questions for those inspired shortcuts. And then there's a moment of decision after the mind kind of makes sense of everything. And, you take into consideration the feeling in the body and the, knowing that you have that spiritual connection. And then the mind and then there has to be a decision made. So a decision and choice is based on all the information from that body, mind, spirit connection. And I can write that inspired shortcut at the top of my list, but then there's another component that has to come into play for me to actually take action on that inspired shortcut, and that's faith. So faith is the key to taking action on the decisions that are made based on body, mind, spirit connection. Who else has something they'd like to share?
I'll share.
Okay, thanks, Tammy.
So what came to my mind was that when there is clear, strong connection between all three of those, that we are in such a powerful place of creation, and everything just flows so easy.
Beautiful. Thank you. So true. Who else?
I was just thinking, I was listening to a book by Sue Morter called The Energy Codes last night, and I was just thinking about how interesting it is that when we focused outward spiritually, for example, like when Christ went through 40 days of fasting, and then he was tempted by Satan, and he had to be at least a little bit tired, but then he turned outward spiritually, and he recognized that John the Baptist needed ministering angels while he was in prison, so he sent ministering angels to John the Baptist, and so he turned outward spiritually.
Wow.
But when we turn outward with our physical body, and we do not center our energy in our physical body on Jesus Christ and on our true and highest self, that our energy becomes disjointed and there is interference. And so it's interesting to me that it's the reverse, that we need to focus, like bring everything in and focus and center ourselves on Christ in our body, like and to so focus inward, so that it strengthens our outward aura, and then spiritually we need to look outward to expand and be blessed and strengthened.
Wow, that's something that I had not. I'm sure I've read it, but I didn't comprehend that. Because I've brought up that particular story in recent weeks. In our mastermind calls and on the 21-day challenge and stuff. And I that's an interesting bit about his 40 days in the wilderness fasting that I had not considered, that he was that he sent angels outward instead of just really focusing on himself. Thank you. I love that idea of keep having Christ centered within our body, that energy, that power, that light, that when we have that, that it brings power within us. Thank you. Who else?
I'll share.
Thanks, Phil.
So for me, when I'm not centered, when I'm not, motivated, or when I'm not feeling uplifted or inspired, it's because I'm time traveling in my mind. I'm either remembering the past or predicting the future, and I lose track of now. I get caught up in my thoughts about things that have happened or might happen. Of course, everything's kind of contingent on the past, but that the time and the physical world, that they're one in the same. And so it's interesting to me to think that this was designed this way to help us to grow, and that if we don't put ourselves in alignment, that we stunt our progress. We stay the same, and we don't, and our spirit's restless. Anyway, that's what's on my mind.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. I'm, just thinking about the different bodies that we have within us, the physical body, the mind, the spirit, they're all kind of separate entities that work together to create synergy. And all of them, I'm just like seeing that all three of those, body, mind, and spirit, have a will. And if the body is, wanting to exert its will, then it can actually supersede the mind, of making conscious choice that is really, to do things that are really positive and good. The body, with its physical desires or whatever, can actually like take control of the mind and overpower the spirit. And the same is true for all of them. Our minds, with the decisions that we've made, or the belief system that we've chosen or whatever, can overpower the body. Because I know I've done that. Like when I first started doing yoga, I was like, how does anybody do this? My body doesn't do this. My body can't do this. And, these poses, it's like, how did they expect us to do this? And my mind was so resistant to the idea that my body could do certain things, that for a long time, yoga was like a real struggle for me. And until I, began to soften my mind and allow my breath and my spirit to kind of lead me in that yoga process. And now, I'm just amazed at what my body can do that I didn't realize before. I'm still not, like a yoga master, but I can do, it's way more comfortable and way more relaxed than it used to be. And I think the spirit also could totally lead if we allowed it to, and because we can't really see it, and it's not, something that's physically, that we maybe give value to, because we give so much value to the physical world. A lot of times we don't let the spirit lead as much as we could. But I feel like the ultimate is to honor all the bodies, the body, mind, and spirit, the physical body, the mind, and the spirit, and create that synergistic connection. So when we put this all together, you were talking about time travel. We can go back in time if we've got our mind, body, spirit kind of all working together, and we can go forward in the future and create visions, create physical manifestation of visions that we have. And we can also go back and learn from the past. We can create changes, decisions that we've made in the past. Energetically, we can say, well, if I knew what I knew then, or now, then what I knew now, then I would have made this decision. So let me go back and make that decision and see what the outcome would have been, and, make some different choices. So anyway, thanks, Phil, for bringing that up. Just new concepts to consider. Tyree, did you have something else?
Yes, I just wanted to add, while I was listening to you speak, I thought of in the Pilgrim's Hypothesis that I've also been reading there. So it talks about John Adams, and I never realized what an important part he took in the Declaration of Independence. So I guess he was a really, really good speaker. And they had no political aspirations. And this was before people received pensions and things like that for after serving politically. And so he was a lawyer, and his wife and him were just working on raising their children and farming and doing what they were supposed to, but at the persistence of his wife telling him to go speak, then he would go speak. And I guess he was a powerful speaker, and so he on multiple occasions got up and made a name for himself because he would speak so powerfully. And then when it came time to decide on signing the Declaration of Independence, then I can't remember his name, but one guy got up and basically said, "This is like a death wish. We shouldn't do
Mm-hmm.
this." And he sat down, and everyone was just sitting there. And because of what his wife had really encouraged him, and because of his spirit and what he felt from God, and he was allowing himself to be a vessel of Jesus Christ, he got up, and it wasn't recorded what he said, but it was so powerful that everyone was moved upon, and they signed the Declaration of Independence. And so we can be powerful tools in God's plan when we allow our spirits to be led by Jesus Christ.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you. I really appreciate everything that you've shared. Let's go ahead and take a deep breath and just allow yourself to find that mind-body connection. Allow yourself to be open to receive through the Spirit, and also bring your body in alignment, like actually envision that your body is, all of your vertebrae is aligned. Sit up maybe a little bit taller. Allow your head to be tilted forward just a little bit in the sort of a bowed head, so that the crown of your head is facing directly to heaven, and that you have that straight and uninterrupted connection from heaven all the way through to the earth. So sitting up straight and tilting your head down so that your crown of your head is towards heaven, and feeling that that pure straight conduit from heaven all the way down to earth, that that conduit goes all the way through your body, through the heels of your feet into the earth. And even if you're sitting, that's fine. Just put your feet flat on the ground and feel that connection with Mother Earth as well. And allow your mind to be open to receive, and to be sort of a bystander at this point, because it's not time to make decisions about anything yet, or to gather information, to look at things, to gather the evidence. It's not time yet, because we're still in the process of receiving. So just allow your consciousness to kind of be present, but not part of the process yet. Go ahead and take one more deep breath. Spirit and body together, and mind just waiting for the opportunity to come and be part of this process when it's required. One more deep breath. Feeling that your physical body, your chest raising as you breathe, your ribs expanding, and the breath coming in through your nose and down the back of your throat and down into your chest area. And allow that air to permeate your lungs, and just to fill every cell of your body. Allow that oxygen to be pumped to all the nerve endings, to every cell, every molecule within your body is completely energized with this fresh oxygen, and letting go of the carbon dioxide that is poison to the body, letting go of all of that, and just feeling gratitude for the body's systems and how everything works perfectly together to keep you alive and thriving. And then also adding to that spirit, feeling yourself being filled with the Spirit, your own spirit expanding to fill the measure of your body, to fill the full, even beyond because it is ethereal. It's able to, even just like the oxygen, I invited you to envision that it permeated the lining of your lungs and filled the rest of your body, that allow your spirit to expand so that it fills the whole fullness of your body, all the way down to your toes and all the way down to your fingertips, and even expanding beyond, so that as you have your eyes closed and you envision what your body looks like, that it's like an aura that is expanded beyond your body, that you can see your spirit and the radiance of it, and how that light can be felt by others as you expand your spirit even beyond your body, your physical body. Take one more deep breath. And again, checking in to make sure that your mind is still waiting in the wings, but is allowing the spirit and the body to work together to receive inspiration from above before it has its say. And as you're in this state of receiving, I know that each one of you has a question that you can ask your higher source of inspiration for answers. And go ahead and write that question down, just formulate it in a way that will invite a specific answer. And those questions that invite a specific answer are usually begin with the words what or who, not how or why, but what or who. And go ahead and write that question in a way that will serve you in receiving the perfect answer for yourself. And check in and make sure it's not too general. If you need to even say something like, what is one? Or who is one? And then go ahead and finish that question. That will help you receive the specific perfect answer for you today. And then go ahead and finish that sentence, that question. And then when you have that question formulated, go ahead and check in again. Make sure that you are just spirit and body, that you've aligned your body to receive and your spirit is open to receive. And go ahead and ask that question and listen for the first thing that comes to you. The first thought that appears is the perfect answer for you today. It's exactly what you're ready to receive. May not be a full answer, but it's exactly what you're ready to receive. And then as you're receiving that answer, now is the time to allow the mind to make judgments on that answer that you've received. And listen for limiting beliefs that might be popping up, judgments about that answer that you're receiving, possibly past evidence that the mind can bring to remembrance that would cause you to doubt. And so listen for any of those thoughts, write those down. And as you're looking at those limiting thoughts that are popping into your mind, just allow them to be there for just a moment. And then bring in, before we make a decision to give yourself permission to change those limiting beliefs, I invite you to allow the mind to bring those limiting beliefs to the surface so that they are part of the body, and notice what emotions of the response, the emotional response, the energetic response that these limiting beliefs cause within the body. And also notice the response that it causes with the spirit. As you were before noticing that your spirit could completely fill your body and go beyond, how has your spirit been affected by these limiting thoughts that have been coming to you? And how's your body affected? As you notice that energetic response in your body and your spirit, now is the time to make the choice. Is it serving you to hold on to these thoughts? Or do you want to give yourself permission to let go of these thoughts and choose something different? So if you're ready to let go of these thoughts and choose something different, say yes.
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 Awesome. And so if you are making the choice to give yourself permission to choose some new thoughts, now's the time to write those new beliefs. What new beliefs will empower you to, again, expand your spirit beyond yourself, beyond your body, and to allow your body to be completely open and aligned? What new beliefs will support you in holding on to that mind, body, spirit connection in a way that will allow your spirit and your body to be magnified, to grow, to inspire, to expand? What new beliefs will create a more synergistic mind-body connection for you? And we'll take the place of those old limiting beliefs. Let's get 2 or 3 new beliefs. And just keep writing until you can feel and see that your spirit expanding again once more beyond your body, feeling that alignment, standing tall and confident before God and man. And when your new beliefs are allowing you to expand to that extent, then the final question I have for you is, what is the one most important thing that you could do today to take action on this new evidence or this new information that you've received as you were in this spiritually and physically expanded state? The new information that you received, what is the one most important thing that you could do today that would create evidence and would help take you one step closer to achieving that that new information that you've just received, to having that be a physical reality in your life? What's your inspired shortcut today to maintaining this state of expanded spirit and body, and your mind now having new beliefs, and this action step, this inspired shortcut, creating evidence that really anchors in this feeling of mind-body connection at this expanded level? And in a moment, I'm going to open it up for a couple of shares for those who are wanting to share something about their experience today. And I also want to invite anyone who is struggling at all, or if you just feel like you need some extra support in maintaining what you've created today, I would love to have a conversation with you. A 15-minute call, and it's free. And all you have to do is just go to askwylene.com, and that will take you directly to my calendar, and we can have a 15-minute free private mentoring session. askwylene.com. Who has something they would like to share about their experience today? Deepti?
Yes, so actually I wanted to talk about this before permission process, but nevertheless, I'm getting a chance to speak, and I just want to share something. So I'm doing a course on energy right now because I'm already fascinated with energy and about the connection between mind, body, and spirit. I just want to say how actually they are interrelated, because that course goes into neuroscience and things like that. But I'll just explain it in very short. When Phil said that, when our mind is mostly thinking in the past or, in the future. So when a mind is stuck in the past, we are upset. When we are thinking about our problems in the present, we are again, in stress. So thinking about the past or thinking about the present problems makes us stressful. And so that's the mind part playing.
Mm-hmm.
So when the stress hormones are released in the body, it's the fight or flight mode that the body gets ready for an emergency to face a danger in your outer environment. So that's how your body comes into play. So when that happens, there is this innately our bodies function that way, that automatically all the energy of your body starts moving inside to prepare you for that emergency that's going to happen outside. So if you keep using your energy inside the body for some outer threat all the time, like 70% of the people are stressed for some or the other reason. So when we keep using our body energy for the outside threats, what happens is we compromise on our immunity. And in the long term, because our body has no energy to fight the viruses, or the immunity system weakens up. So then what happens is we compromise on our immunity, and the long term effects of the stress hormones on the body are that you get a disease. Now, how is it related to spirit? We all have an energy field around our body also, inside our body also, and around the circumference of our body. So all the inside energy you're using for the outside 3D reality. Now the outside energy also you start using for the 3D reality, or your current problems, or you being stuck in the past. So what happens is we start using that divine energy surrounding our body, and we keep consuming that also, and we try to control everything in our current reality, but we cannot control that outcome, because we are becoming more of matter and less of energy, because we have already consumed all our body energy. We are consuming the energy surrounding us also. So we are always short of energy. So we are becoming more matter and less energy. And that matter, like we have limited resources then to, control anything outside us, or, to create anything. So that happens then. So what happens is the more you align your mind and body, the more access you have to your spirit and then to your energy, because then there is a constant flow and availability, and there's always creation of energy, because you're not consuming too much of your energy. That's how mind, body, and spirit are connected, and how important it is to be aligned. All three, if you want to get those inspired shortcuts.
Beautiful. Thank you. That totally makes sense. And, I've talked about this before when I talk about vision boards, that you have to turn the ethereal into a more of a solid, like your imagination, you're wanting to turn it into a solid, physical thing in front of you, like we have it become more matter. And so putting that emphasis on that, and I can see the exact same thing happen in the reverse in your body, as you're talking about, if we put so much emphasis on, if the body energy is, consuming the spirit energy, the ethereal energy, then we become more solid, which makes us less changeable and less able to flow, and even our body systems become more solid, like, the arteries and the organs and everything are less able for the flow to happen that actually cleanses the body. And I mean, it totally makes sense. We could create a whole class on this. As you said, you're studying a class on this, Deepti. Thank you.
Yes.
Gosh, thanks for everything that has been shared. I feel we are a little bit past time, but I do feel like there's maybe one person that maybe had a really special experience in that meditation. I just want to open it up. If there's someone who just really feels like they would like to share something about their experience, we would love to hear that.
I'll share.
Melinda.
So I thought about my body and being a conduit from heaven to earth, like that energy from heaven flowing through my body, and just easily waiting for direction from heaven to ignite me and to move me when prompted. And I imagined, patiently waiting, but also being ready. And I realized that that's not how, or my limiting belief is that's not what I've been doing. I've actually been more like the child, as parents ask your children, get ready, say Sunday morning, get ready, sit on the couch, stay clean,
Mm-hmm.
as you go finish those last touches up so that you can all start heading to church. And, a lot of the times I'll come out and somebody has, taken off this shoe, or they've run outside, they've gotten dirty, things have happened and they're not ready. And I felt like, wow, that's what I'm doing. And I'm missing opportunities because I'm not being patient when I'm waiting, and I'm going and running off doing all these things. And then Heavenly Father says, okay, here we go. And then he's like, why are you not ready? Kind of thing, like I tell my children. And so he says, okay, go ahead. I'll give you another try. You're not going to do it this time, but, continue. And I'm like, I have to change that. I have to give myself permission to just be that conduit and just be waiting and just feel that energy from heaven, embrace my soul, and just be that conduit and be ready. So like more of my mature or children will sit and they'll be ready and they'll be clean, and and when it's time to go, they're ready to go. And so my new belief is, I'm a child of God, and I'm responsible and accountable and ready.
I love that. And I also love that word maturity that you said. I'm spiritually mature, and that, that really brings a new idea of, patiently waiting, that maturity. When we have some evidence that supports the idea that we can, just patiently wait, and we know that it's going to come. That's a sort of maturity that comes from experience. Thank you. Oh, I know that there's other people that could share. I would love to continue, but we do need to end our call, and we'll look forward to being back together tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. Mountain Daylight Time. I encourage you all to go to our Facebook group, Breakthrough with Gratitude. We'd love to hear your thoughts there. I know there were a couple of others that unmuted, so we'd love to continue to experience this through our Facebook group. Thanks, everybody. Love you. And we'll talk to you again tomorrow, 7 a.m. Mountain Daylight Time.
Thank you.
Thanks. Hey, thanks so much for listening. And I encourage you to tune in every day to the Daily Gratitude Call. And the Daily Gratitude Call happens live every weekday morning. I'd love to have you join. So to find out how to join live, go to my website, WileenBenson.com. Thanks for tuning in.